We're supposed to be the red carpet hosts. You know, see the red carpet. I tried to even go there. So they now upgraded me from red carpet to the stage. You know, I mean, it's so much fun. I love carnivals. I'm a carnival fan. I love where there's crowd. I love where our people do. I know the street to take over. Me, I be mainland boy. I be Yaba boy. I'm like Gogo Leki, Gogo Chevron, I'm deceive me.
Preparations for the carnival involve the employment of thousands for about 6 months prior to each outing. These artisans produce locally all the thousands of beautifully designed costumes as well as the decorated floats. This is an annual opportunity for Lagosians to celebrate with one another and with all the colors and the dancing. Flamboyant artistry of Carnival Day is not to be missed. Carnival also generates business opportunities for singers, songwriters, choreographers, costume designers, makeup artists, and musicians. Even more important, Carnival has driven the growth and development of micro, small and medium enterprises, many of which are skills-based services. These range from entertainment services related to cultural art forms such as dance to the production of local crafts, cuisine, and the display of folk arts. It is without doubt that Carnival is an important social and cultural event which continues to gain regional and international significance. For Lagos, it is another way of significantly developing its economy while its residents relax and have fun.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
As a physiologist, I know how important it is.
The grant you're asking for looks like a drop from what you're planning.
I need equipment. There's any equipment.
I'm okay. I'm very happy.
Why would I give you 10 million naira that I can empower like 5 other youths with, and they will make money? I will now give you money to go and do research. What have you done in the last 3 years?
We want to implement aggressive sales now.
I suggest, can we make a deal?
Okay.
If you can sell 10 in a day, you'll get 200.
This is not a charity case.
So I wrote a mail to all the bank MDs in Nigeria. I sent a note to all of them.
How are you bringing medical issues, food into this?
Because he needs a grant, not a loan.
NTA brings you the best of entertainment.
I thought I was being sarcastic.
I went on to do other productions.
Everything music.
Hear what which one you say.
If you look at the platforms of free
For a particular product.
They call a new school playing.
That in the hot or we go carry
the hair go come the
and got the smell.
Somebody sad, you feel it.
I love you. Just a little. I know this.
Chop, they are already washed.
It is all a mindset.
Delicious.
To a president.
They depended on Jesus.
What else can I do? Get a shower couple and dancers.
Watch these programs and more on NTA Entertainment Channel 105 on Star Times. NTAE, your one-stop entertainment channel.
There are discussions before court on corruption, security.
Hello there, very good evening. It's 9 o'clock Nigerian time, and here is Fatima. Thank you for keeping a date with me on News Extra with the extra touch. In tonight's package, there is good news for travelers this Yuletide season as far as availability of petroleum products is concerned. The Federal Executive Council, too, is working towards amending the Deep Offshore Act. The One Planet Summit has just ended in Paris, France. Our own Adam Musambo will keep us posted on the latest there. To be or not to be, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the police. This is our big issue for tonight. As usual, we shall go around the country and bring you stories on security, health, the economy, agriculture. You know, NTA is celebrating 40 years of broadcasting. News Extra will not be complete without something on NTA. So watch out. There is something. Like I always say, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Sit back, relax, and let's get the ball rolling. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. This is News Extra. Now let's start on this sunny note. If you were anxious about the amount of money you will spend on public transportation or fuel for your vehicle during this Yuletide season because of the scarcity of petroleum, you can relax. This is because the fuel scarcity which hit the nation a fortnight ago has considerably eased off. A monitoring team led by the Managing Director of the Petroleum Products Marketing Company, PPMC, Umar Ajia, confirmed that normalcy has returned to most parts of the country. Lydia Sampson gives us an update.
Few days ago, it was push and shove as motorists had a hectic time trying to buy petrol in this filling station in Gudu district of Abuja. Today, getting the product is seamless as the queues have virtually disappeared and motorists do not have to wait for long.
Drove in and then I'm out. I don't know, this keeps happening every time there is Christmas season, and I feel our government should actually have something they will do to it.
It's not to compare to last week. Like this week now, I can see that the queues are reducing.
The experience last week was too bad, but this time I think it's improving.
To confirm that the relief is real, the station manager says they have 3 days supply on ground at the moment.
It of like 3 days.
How many days?
3 days.
Okay. Managing Director of the Petroleum Product Marketing Company, PPMC, Umar Ajia, leading a monitoring team, assured that most of the issues that led to the queues have been attended to and more products are available nationwide.
All the stations we went, they have product, and there are no longer queues outside the stations. Essentially, this is the product of a lot of hard work and effort between ourselves, our sister agencies, DPR, PPPRA, and the security agencies.
We made that promise, and as you can see, we have delivered.
Meanwhile, independent marketers have promised to sell petroleum product at the approved price and deal with members found to be hoarding.
Complaints to the regulatory agencies like the Department of Petroleum Resources to stamp their feet and make sure they do the needful so that our independent marketers can get the petroleum product at the right price as it is on the petroleum product pricing template.
Although there are still few noticeable queues in some stations, but motorists and stakeholders are unanimous that indeed normalcy has returned. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Well, Nigeria has made a strong representation to the international community for her inclusion in the climate regional programs by providing strong financial support to the planned replenishment of Lake Chad, as well as long-term solutions for a source of clean power. This, President Muhammadu Buhari said, will not only create economic competitiveness for industrialization and job creation, but also address permanently the conditions for the spread of violent extremism, as well as illegal migration. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has more on that.
Coming exactly 2 years since the historic Paris Agreement, the One Planet Summit, which brought together over 60 world leaders as well as actors of public and private finance, is aimed at exploring ways of innovating, supporting, and accelerating what the organizers called a common fight against climate change.
There's not a single African head of state who hasn't told me that the boot of climate change is on their necks. They feel it every day.
Which means we need to mobilize resources of the international community to support the governments and the communities of these states to build resilience for their societies.
President Muhammadu Buhari laments that the adverse impact of climate change, such as drying up of water bodies like Lake Chad, gully erosion, and constant flooding, are a reality across the country. This reality, the president said, is most felt by highly vulnerable communities who lack the capacity to cope. President Buhari said since the adoption of the Paris Agreement, Nigeria has been strengthening efforts towards implementation and delivering on its pledge to reduce emissions by 20% in 2020 and 40% by the year 2030. Already, he said Nigeria has embraced the issuance of green bond as innovative and alternative source of project funding. He, however, said without adequate financial, technical, and capacity building support, it will be difficult for the country to achieve her ambitious plans, having just come out of recession. A long-term solutions for a source of clean power, the president emphasized, will create economic competitiveness throughout the country, while the recharging of Lake Chad will ensure sustained livelihood for rural and urban communities, check the spread of terrorism, as well as stem the illegal migration of the youth abroad. Addressing such challenges of climate change, he however said, must be pursued within the framework of the United Nations. At the summit, also attended by relevant interest groups, various speakers remarked that the United States is standing on the wrong side of history regarding issues of climate change. But John Kerry assured the gathering that over 80% of Americans are in total support of the renewed efforts at ensuring that the one planet remains sustainable, secure, and prosperous.
Donald Trump did not pull the United States out of the Paris Agreement. Donald Trump pulled Donald Trump out of the Paris Agreement.
From Paris, France, Adam Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Nigeria's participation at the ongoing One Planet Summit in France and her commitment to realizing the Paris Agreement dominated discussions with experts on Good Morning Nigeria this Wednesday. Special advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Muhammadu Buhari stressed that the action plan on climate change is crucial to all sectors of the economy, as well as Nigeria's need to address deficit infrastructure to cope with natural disasters. Garba Muhammad Nata'ala completes the report.
About 50 world leaders, including President Muhammadu Buhari, are attending the One Planet Summit in Paris, meant to support a common interest and accelerate the efforts of all nations to fight against climate change. The special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, spoke on President Buhari's presentation at the summit in Paris, noting Nigeria's commitment so as to mitigate domestic ecological challenges in prone areas across the country.
He stressed the adverse effects of climate change, things like excessive rainfall, erosion, poor agricultural yield, shrinking of Lake Chad. So he emphasized on that.
Although United States might have pulled out, experts say there is need to provide new funding sources to achieve a free green environment.
Nigeria will not be able to shoulder the responsibilities. It will have to have a lending hand from places like the World Bank, from international NGOs, from foundations, and the like.
There's a need to bring the private sector in the stage of affairs of mobilizing the sort of the public fund to be able to adapt and to be able to mitigate.
Apart from massive awareness on climate change, the guests stressed the need for synergy among private and public sectors in promoting green projects. They stressed that the funding of the Paris Agreement will go a long way in ending gas flaring and other gas emissions by the year 2030.
The common man should understand that water resources, energy, atmosphere, and every sector of his life is being affected by that change of the climate. And it is very significant for government as well as private sector to team up and ensure that measures are taken.
Experts pointed out that all these are critical to all sectors of the economy for development. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
And the One Planet Summit has been rounded off in Paris, France, with the participating world leaders and critical stakeholders pledging wide-ranging commitments towards turning the promise of the Paris Agreement into reality. President Muhammadu Buhari led Nigeria's delegation to the summit to underscore his administration's stand on delivering a climate-secured future. State House correspondent Adam Musambu completes the report.
The One Planet Summit, attended by over 60 world leaders, marked an extraordinary moment in the worldwide efforts towards turning the tables on climate change. From the United Nations systems to governments and investors, billions of dollars have been mobilized towards helping to keep temperature rise to well below 2 degrees and in turn safeguarding the meeting of the objectives of the Sustainable Development Goals. Most importantly, the summit shined a light on the mechanics of transforming the Paris Agreement from talk to real action, especially in prioritizing adaptation efforts in countries where vulnerabilities are highest and the need for safety and resilience is greatest. Members of the Nigerian delegation described Nigeria's participation as a demonstration of political will towards mitigating the adverse effect of climate change in the country.
We came here primarily to look at what the world has to offer so that we can key into it and ensure that we get our own fair share. We received serious commitment, particularly from the French government, from other more advanced countries like Sweden, who are willing to assist. We have figures like Bill Gates, who has promised huge amount of money. The European Union also has keyed into this event, and they are willing to offer significant assistance. In mind, we have the issue of circular economy, we have the issue of renewable, we have the issue of waste management. And in this waste management, you can turn waste into wealth.
One of the biggest ones, of course, is the recharging of Lake Chad, but, there are other areas in which, we're working towards. We have to, decrease gas flaring, and we have to start investing in solar energy, renewable energy.
Climate change, it affects Nigeria in all ramifications. So it's very important that I'm here and to support the president. The Benue Belt is part of Adamawa State, and we have a water that has dried now. I hope, like you said, Adamawa will benefit at the end of it.
President Muhammadu Buhari is already emphasizing the planting of trees and the shelter belt so that we take care of the desert encroachment. And already in the southern part of this country, he has already started cleaning the Ogoni land who are suffering from pollution. And so I believe this summit is very, very important.
We are particular about what has happened to our forests. We have afforestation projects which are totally deforested, and what we go along with now is that, look, we have assurance that the whole world will support reforestation in Ondo State and all over the other parts of Nigeria where we're supposed to have forests.
The Minister of Environment takes pride in the excellent rating of Nigeria's green bond, soon to be launched towards financing climate-related activities.
The green bond, we are targeting 150 billion at the first time. The first tranche that will come up is 10 billion. In mind, we have issues of afforestation, we have issues of renewable energies such as solar, and we have also issues of transportation where we look at ways of reducing emission from transportation sector.
The green bond is scheduled to be launched in Abuja on the 18th of this month. From Paris, France, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And back at home, away from the One Planet Summit, immediate dissemination of weather reports on flood disasters down to the grassroots can mitigate the devastating effects of flooding in Nigeria. This is the view of stakeholders at the National Strategic Stakeholders Discussion, which has as its theme flood prevention and management in contemporary society. It was organized by the Environment Safety Management Institute. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu has that report.
Nigeria has been at the receiving end on the devastating effects of flooding anytime Cameroon, Chad, Niger and Benin Republic release its overflown dams to ease the risk of flooding in their areas. This situation has been for many years creating havoc, disruption of economic activities, as well as human settlement and loss of lives. The National Strategic Stakeholders Discussion is building strategic framework on the mitigation, prevention and management of any outbreak of flooding in any part of the country.
That the federal government will come to the aid of the states by dredging the River Benue.
Information is power, and if NEMA disseminates this information to the state government, that is through the SEMAs, they are now supposed to send this information to the religious leaders, to the traditional institutions, to the civil society.
We want to let everybody know what has to be done to avoid, to prevent it from occurring again.
The National Strategic Stakeholders Discussion is expected to come out with a strategic blueprint on mitigation, prevention and management of flood disaster in the country. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
The Federal Executive Council is taking steps towards amending Section 15 of the Deep Offshore Act. Speaking shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachiku, says the amendment will ensure more revenue to government. State House correspondent Jide Onifade completes the report.
The Ministry of Petroleum Resources and that of Justice are to work to amend Section 15 of the Act. Under the Act of 1983, as explained by Minister Ibe Kachiku, there was the provision that once the price of crude exceeds $20 per barrel, the government would take steps to ensure that the premium elements would then be distributed at an agreed premium level for the nation to get more from its oil. For 20 years, he says, nothing has been done, with the nation losing up to $21 billion for not taking action.
Things we've worked on very hard over the last 1 year is to get that amendment, because once we do, the net effect for us is close to $2 billion extra revenue for the Federation. So that was approved today very happily. The other two interventions that we had, one was, of course, you've always been asking me about what we're doing about gas. Well, one of the approvals today was an award of the contract for over $2.7 billion to 3 consortia that would finish up the AKK pipeline, which is the Abuja, Kaduna, Kano pipeline.
Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi says his ministry equally got approval for some projects.
Another one on this provide security at the waterfront, patrol boats for MPA. And the final one is a $500 million contract for rolling stocks, coaches, wagons, locomotives for the Lagos-Ibadan Railway and the Itape Warri railway.
The Niger Delta Development Commission also got approval for the completion of its headquarters. The project was initiated 23 years ago. The minister promised to complete all projects in the region.
East-West Road was designed to fail, and we are doing everything to correct that concept, which means if it was designed to fail, it was gone, but now it's being revived.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo presided over the meeting. In the State House, Chite Onifate, NTA News.
Now, anybody who is interested in communal peace and security in the rural areas will admire what the Niger State government is doing to guarantee that between herdsmen and their neighbors. We are again hearing that the state government has released another batch of 619 cattle recovered from rustlers to their owners who came in from Zamfara State. Rose Gia says herdsmen from neighboring states are visiting Zungeru in Wushishi local government area of Niger State, where recovered rustled cattle are being kept.
The investigative committee on recovered cattle in Niger State was set up following incessant cattle rustling carried out in the state. Efforts of the committee paid off with the arrest of 34 suspected cattle rustlers and recovery of more than 1,000 cows and sheep. A number of the cattle have, however, been released to rightful owners from Kaduna State, while another batch of 619 have been released to herders, including leaders of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association in Zamfara State.
This is what we have been doing for the past 10 days, and we are able to screen those that their own cattle are genuine, they are the genuine owners.
Presiding over the handover of the cattle in collaboration with security operatives, the Director General Nomadic Affairs, Adu Abdullahi Adamu Babayo, appealed to neighboring states to synergize with Niger State to curtail the menace of cattle rustling.
They are into Niger State now. We've arrested them. If our neighboring state can take the same measures we are taking in Niger State, I think we are going to put a stop to this cattle rustling.
Some of the herdsmen present to claim their cattle expressed gratitude to Niger State government for the efforts.
This sorting out is the best thing. This is part of efforts to ensure that all rustled cattle are returned to their rightful owners. This exercise is good because it has never happened before.
Rose Gia, NTA News.
The Presidential Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons says it has finalized plans to destroy more than 5,000 illicit weapons recovered from Zamfara State. The program coordinator Dixon Orji said this in Abuja at the Physical Security and Stockpile Management Workshop. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma was there and now reports.
A recent United Nations survey reveals that 70% of an estimated 500 million small arms and light weapons said to be circulating in West Africa is in Nigeria. This workshop, in collaboration with the United Nations Regional Center for Peace and Disarmament in Africa, is to review the proposed standard operating and administrative procedures on stockpile management and fiscal security. With many illicit arms in circulation and some already in government stockpile, experts are of the opinion that if managed properly, leakages into the hands of non-state actors, as witnessed in recent times, will be stopped. As Presscom presses to trace the origins of illicit weapons circulating in West Africa using the International Tracing Instrument with an intent to bring the countries to book, an impediment in Nigeria is legislation to upgrade Presscom into a commission as well as repeal the Firearms Law of 1958. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
Members of the Police Community Relations Committee and other concerned groups from different parts of Kaduna State took to major streets to protest against the agitations in some quarters for the scrapping of the special anti-robbery squad in the country. The procession began from Murtala Mohammed Square and terminated at the State Police Headquarters in Kaduna. Ahmed Muhammad Usman completes the report.
It was a peaceful rally with members of the PCRC carrying placards with inscriptions supporting the strengthening of the capacity of SARS to carry out its duties in a more efficient manner. This rally is equal to the #EndSARS campaign, which took over the social media space recently. While addressing the protesters, the Commissioner of Police, represented by the Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, assured them of their agitation will be forwarded to the Inspector General of Police.
Nigerians should support the police, give us all the needed information to assist in policing their neighborhood. We call it neighborhood policing. You know the strangers that come to your place, you know the movement of those that you know who have been acquiring illicit wealth.
Emmanuel Siri and Abdusalam Muhammad led the PCRC protest.
The issue of kidnapping has been reduced. The issue of armed robbery also reduced. So we do not know why some people should be against the law. It's those that are not law-abiding that are criticizing that SARS should be removed.
It is the highest level of disrespect and the highest level of disloyalty on the side of the citizen calling for the scrap of SARS. What citizens should do now today is to call on government to reform the Nigerian police force.
The Special Anti-Robbery Squad was created by the Nigerian police to check the increasing cases of armed robbery, kidnapping, among other security challenges in the nook and crannies of the country. In Kaduna, Ahmad Mahmoud Usman, NTA News.
And also in Kano, our correspondent Sani Basiru reports that residents held a peaceful rally in support of the retention of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. He says the agitators, however, called for the reorganization of the outfit to make it more public-friendly and responsive to service delivery.
The rally, which brought together people from various walks of life, was organized by the Eminent Persons Forum with the aim of supporting the Nigerian police force and demand for reorganization. Speaking before the Kano Commissioner of Police, Chairman Eminent Persons Forum, Ambassador Umar Mukhtar Gashash said, the public outcry from people against the SARS is coming at a time when the country is faced with numerous security challenges. These, he said, include armed robbery, kidnapping, cattle rustling, violence against women, child and drug abuse, among others. He explained that SARS is intended to address these security lapses, which he emphasized need to be reformed for operational efficiency and effectiveness.
The SARS be reorganized to conform with the best core values and professional ethics in the conduct of their constitutional mandate. We call all Nigerians to support SARS to become better and serve the country better.
Responding, Kano State Commissioner of Police Rabi Yusuf assured them that the Nigeria Police Force will look into the issue.
I would like to assure you that our IGP is a listening IG and also his management team, and they will critically look into the criticisms that are ongoing as regards to the functions, and there may be modus operandi of SARS, that is Special Anti-Robbery Squad.
The rally, which was held in the metropolis, began from Daula roundabout to Club roundabout through Miller Road and terminated at the police officers' mess. In Kano, Sani Basiru, NTA News.
I'm now being joined live in the studio by the Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Moshood Jimo. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much, and good evening, Nigerians.
Well, you've heard the people speak.
Yep.
We have the police mobile force, we have the mounted troops and the regular police. What is it about the Special Anti-Robbery Squad that people are calling for its scrapping?
Thank you so much. I think those who are doing so in absolute ignorance, because the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the force is a strike force of the force. These are the department and unit that is being deployed to tackle armed robbery and other violent crime, such as kidnapping, cattle rustling, and any other crime that the offender employed the use of firearms. And they have been doing wonderfully well. And even around this period of the month in the year, you discover that the rate of robbery have drastically reduced to the barest in the country. This is due to the effectiveness on the anti-robbery squad. And by and large, if you look at the people that have come out, they come out through all the pattern, across the country, from Ogun to Anambra, to Rivers, to Kano, to Kaduna, and equally in Abuja here. People have come to hone their police force. This force belongs to us. SARS has been doing wonderfully well. They should allow it to continue to function. Where there are SSs, these SSs, we have internal mechanism that check all these SSs. And moreover, the Inspector General of Police have directed reorganization because of public interest of the outcry agitation and probably complaint about SARS. For all these complaints to be investigated, but not to abolish SARS. This reorganization, we want to implore Nigerians to allow it to take fold. We are quite appreciative of the fact that people start the end SARS. They are Nigerian, they are patriotic Nigerian, and they want the good for the Nigerian police force and the generality of Nigeria. But we want them to join us in the reform for SARS, and that is the way to go. So SARS is a department of the force that have been there for more than 40 years, and they've been doing wonderfully well. Vampire was ended by the men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Everyone was equally arrested by the men of Special Anti-Robbery Squad. And even extraordinary emergency like we have in Numa, SARS were deployed. On Kaduna Abuja Road, during the closure of the airport in Kaduna, they were equally deployed. And even during elections, and that is why some mischievous politicians are calling for ends to SARS, because SARS were being used to key down their armed group, because politicians, those who are mischievous, who doesn't have the interest of the nation at heart, harm the youth to come and disrupt the election. And SARS effectively has keyed them down. And everything have been peaceful generally. We did Edo, it was peaceful. We did Ondo, it was peaceful. We equally, recent, did another gubernatorial election, which was very, very peaceful. So we want everybody to know that that's in Anambra. It was very peaceful because of the effectiveness of anti-robbery squad. So we'll continue to ensure that they do their best. But where there are SSs, they are being checked. So this organization is taking hold.
Okay, the other issue is that of reorganization. I know for a fact that the IGP has promised to restructure the squad. Yeah, when is that restructuring going to take place?
No, it's already taking place because now a commissioner, SARS is being unified now under a command structure. Like you mentioned earlier on the PMF, the Police Mobile Force, the Counter-Terrorist Unit, the Mounted Troops, and even the EOD work under a structure. And the Commissioner of Police have been appointed, who is being domiciled at the first secretary level, answerable to the Deputy Inspector General of Police Operation, who in turn is answerable to the IGP. So at the command level, you are going to have a Chief Superintendent of Police, and not lower than a Superintendent of Police to be in charge of SARS at that command. He has equally directed that there should be human rights training for SARS officers again. He did so when he assumed duty last year by bringing the Red Cross International and some NGO to train them. But because of the recent allegation against them, he has directed another round of retraining for them. And we equally want the NSAS group to equally participate in this training. So this year directed, then there's going to be human rights desk officer at the command level where people can complain. The human rights desk officer at the command level will not be responsible to the commander of SARS in that state, but responsible to the commissioner of police in charge of federal SARS at the first secretary level, so that they can work effectively and efficiently. So Nigerians should go to their houses and home with their two eyes closed. SARS is there to protect them.
Okay, now let me put you on the spot here. Why do we need the anti-robbery squad?
Definitely, every Nigerian, if you ask them that question, they'll be able to answer you in the affirmative that we still need the anti-robbery squad. Because in some states, if not for the president of SARS, you cannot use your phone and start talking on the street. So we need them to bring down violent crimes such as armed robbery, kidnapping, car snatching, and other violent crime. And they've been doing wonderfully well, there's no doubt. So, and all Nigerians, we see people who are tweeting, like we have millions of followers on Reform SARS, Support SARS, which is trending now. I want people to key in. Yesterday I was in Lagos. I'm sorry to mention this. Mr. Korede Bello, who's our police ambassador, has just been promoted from ASP, double promotion, to a superintendent. And he organized 2,000 youth group, because we know the youth are the vanguard of change in any society, to help us drive home that own your police, participate in this reform so that it can be better for everybody. So SARS is still needed in the country and will continue to sustain their activities to reform them, to have a better output from the department.
Okay. CSP Moshood Jumo, Force Public Relations Officer. Thank you very much for coming to our studios.
Thank you for having me.
Now, in the heat of the moment, when sanity is momentarily lost, it's easy to say or do something you will later regret. Now, talking about anger. In this next report, health correspondent Rabi Abdallah takes a look at anger and how to manage it from different perspectives.
I said something nasty to a friend that I still regret to date, and I was able to ask for forgiveness. Each time I remember such words, I say to her, I wish I could take them back.
Anger is considered a basic natural human emotion, though sometimes necessary, unwanted or irrational, that everybody experiences from time to time.
Allah said He is promising paradise for those who are eschewing their anger, because you have to be very, very solid and strong before you can hold it. You know what you want to do is bad, but you will do it because you are in that stage which you did not hold.
The scriptures say that you should not allow your anger to go into the next day.
A peep into the medical world shows that the secretion of the hormone called adrenaline has a lot to do with anger in human beings.
So too much secretion of adrenaline, that will cause excessive fight or flight, increases the heart rate. It also increases the secretion of hydrochloric acid. Too much of secretion of hydrochloric acid will lead to peptic ulcer, hypertension, heart failure.
Anger, also referred to as temperament, can also lead to psychological problems such as depression, alcoholism, and substance abuse, and can be constructive or destructive. These tips to tame anger should interest you.
Well, I mean, if a person counts 1 to 10 slowly, those few seconds be enough to diffuse tension that comes with that anger. When a person is likely to get violent, that is taken care of by, doing things like breathing slowly, leaving the room.
As you spend time in the Word of God on a daily basis, it helps in the management of anger.
If you have seen the signs of being annoyed in you, then you go into performing ablution. It quenches it. So you quench it with water. When you perform ablution, it cools you, it cools your mind.
Anger management experts advise people to be mindful of the reminder that extreme anger cannot fix anything, but rather lead to problems. In Abuja, I am Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
Corruption is a general phenomenon as it is found in every sector of the society. In Nigeria, however, it is attributed only to dishonest conduct by a person entrusted with a position of authority. By this neglecting that corruption can occur on different scales, ranging from small favors between group or people to corruption that affects the government on a large scale, as well as corruption that is part of everyday structure of the society, including corruption which is based on the symptoms of organized crime. This forms the views shared by discussants on NTA's Current Affairs program Tuesday Live, while x-raying the challenges of fighting corruption in the country. It's over now to Aliyu Tukur for the details.
Nigerian level of corruption is something that is part and parcel of some Nigerians. How? Even from the family.
It's an act which people embezzle money for themselves, not caring about the masses.
That opinion of cross-section of the public show how corruption has been a big challenge in Nigeria. More than $400 billion oil revenue is said to have been lost to people saddled with public trust since independence. This forced the government to set various institutions to rid the country of the cankerworm. With coming of the present administration, President Buhari intensified the fight against corruption. A 2016 Transparency International survey shows that Nigeria is still among the 40 most corrupt nations, a development discussant attributed to lack of understanding what corruption is.
It seems that Buhari is just a single tree in the forest in fighting this corruption, unless we are paying lip service. The governors are not doing the same. Most of the public servants do not seem to do the same.
Nigeria as a nation is suffering from trust deficit syndrome. Nigeria do not trust
Nigerians fail to know whom they are as a people. They copycat all others.
According to analysts, unless Nigerians change their attitudes of believing that the fight against corruption is government business and join hands with government in addressing some of the challenges which include the criminal justice system, creating synergy among the anti-corruption agencies, and many more.
It is mandatory on you to support the government in executing good governance for Nigeria. In other words, when we say that the cardinal policy, one of it is fight against corruption, it is mandatory on you as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to assist all the governmental agencies in eradicating this menace. It is a collective phenomenon. So long we take it as a one-sided game, then we are not going anywhere.
Apart from creating jobs and equal distribution of wealth, experts are of the opinion that there is also need on the citizens to play their part and always put the nation first. Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Up ahead, 2 Southeast governors partner road safety for safety management as traffic builds up for the Yuletide season. These are more after these messages. Join us again.
Welcome to Zamfara, where opportunities meet commitment. The more than 6 years of Abdul Aziz Abubakar Yari, the people's governor, reflects new dawn, new opportunities, progress, new hope, and of course, the transformed Zamfara state. Education, health, roads, water supply, and road transformation. Name it. Abdul Aziz Yari leads for others to follow. His vision and mission tied around implementing the President Buhari's change mantra to Zamfara people. Carry on, the people's governor. Zamfara, the pride of the nation. This message is brought to you by Arewa Media Group.
Go find where I go buy UTME form for junior. You no need to rush go find where to buy UTME form because JAMB don't locate them for inside your phone. Inside phone? JAMB don't begin sell 2018 UTM form from December 6, 2017 reach February 6, 2018. To register by form, text surname, first name plus middle name to 55019. JAMB go send profile code. Now this profile code candidate go fill when they pay for UTM form. It they available for commercial and microfinance banks, mobile money operators. If you make mistake for your name, just text correct surname, first name, middle name to 55019. And if now your profile code you lost, just text resend to 55019. After payment, candidate go receive e-pin. Now this e-pin candidate go take go any accredited JAMB CBT center to complete online registration. If you don't receive your e-pin or you lose them, just text UTM e-pin or DE-pin to 55019 and JAMB go send them back to you. Use your phone to buy your form.
JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
If you need help to give Mom a helping hand, please raise your hand. And if you're not quite satisfied after playing hard and need more energy, please raise your hand. And if you still need more to keep going, let's see those hands sky high to receive Freshio, the nourishing, thick, and delicious yogurt drink that fills you up for what's ahead. Natural goodness of yogurt. Freshio, fill up and keep going.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now through our technology. LG OLED TV.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Welcome to the Valletta Book of Celebrations.
Life is celebration, my celebration, your celebration, our
The morning dew is a celebration of a new dawn. The sun celebrates the day. The moon celebrates the night. Valletta's sparkling fruit drink, with its sparkling bubbles, celebrates every moment with you. Celebration is for everyone. Anytime, anywhere. Celebration goes beyond special occasions. Enjoy the refreshing taste of celebration anytime, anywhere with Valletta.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Slavery is an evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves in Africa. It is your responsibility to make sure that you and the people you know do not fall into slavery. Don't believe fake promises of jobs abroad.
People went to say Libya, Italy no use you when they carry me on top water. 4 days now they lock me for inside house, no food, no water. I nearly die. Now God, when me heaven and earth, now save me. If you get 1 naira for Nigeria, you get junior one, you say you no get papa, you no get mama, that make you come out. I beg go they do farm work. You better pass person when enter road.
Don't accept to travel to Europe through the Sahara Desert. You may be walking into slavery. Don't be a slave.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
You're welcome back. You're still on to NTA News Extra on the network service of the NTA. Now, the federal government says it is fast-tracking the modernization of rail systems across the country as part of strategies to reposition the economy. While inspecting the ongoing construction of the Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line, Minister of Transportation Chibuike Rotimi Amechi says the drive reflects government's plan to build a globally competitive economy with first-grade infrastructure. Oyinaya Kaluoka takes it up from here.
Despite the hazy and dusty weather, the Minister of Transportation Chibuike Rotimi Amechi determined to see the speedy completion of the railway, dared it all as he took a ride on a train, then a bus to the various sites located in remote areas of Lagos and Ogun states.
As you can see, work is ongoing seriously at the Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge railway line, which is 157 kilometers. It's expected to have about 8 stations within the corridor when completed.
He expressed satisfaction with the level of work done so far, but disclosed that the gas pipeline, military property, Jibowu and Coastal bridges will be demolished to give way for the new railway line. He said the laying of tracks will commence by April 2018.
Just be rest assured that we are chasing the Chinese to finish 2018. Don't forget the contract is 3 years. That's their own argument. But our own argument is that we need it before 2019 January.
Say it's impressive. We see that the right of way up to Abeokuta is almost ready, and information at various stages. The bypass, the underpass, and the culverts are in place.
Cheerful residents say it will open up a new chapter for them.
It's going to open this place tremendously. It's providing jobs for the teeming youth in this area.
Movement is going to be more easier.
The Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Railway is a double lane, which is the first phase of the Lagos-Kano Standard Gauge Rail Line, awarded at the cost of 458 billion naira. Oyinaya Kalo Oka, NTA News.
We are at that critical time of the year operatives of the Federal Road Safety love to hate, because that is the time of the year they are most busy trying to keep the highways safe from the myriad of travelers rushing all over the place for the Christmas and New Year celebrations. It was the Corps Marshal himself who led the team to the flag off of the safety campaign on the usually heavy trafficked Aba-Asaba Onitsha Expressway. Now, the good news here is that the governors of Anambra and Delta states were on ground and promised to support the Corps this time around. Uchenna Nweko was there for News Extra.
Speaking on the team right to life on the highways not negotiable, the Corps Marshal said the Commission will not relent in enforcing road safety rules that will guarantee the security of lives and property on the highways. He advised road users to jettison the belief that December comes with evil and abide by traffic rules and regulations.
I want to appeal to all of us to be very careful, not to overload the vehicles, and we should not drive under the influence of drugs and alcohol. We have already equipped the patrol teams to test all the drivers and random samplings on the critical highways, and they will be tried by the mobile courts.
Anambra State Governor Chief Willie Obiano, who declared the campaign open, said the state government will work with the military, the road safety and other security agencies in ensuring free flow of traffic and a peaceful Christmas and New Year celebration.
So we are warning people to make sure that your vehicle, you are driving well, you are not under any influence, and the speed limits are obeyed.
Governor Biano, alongside the FRSC Corps Marshal, also visited the Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa at the Government House, Asaba, where they agreed to collaborate to ensure that the Niger Bridge, where there is usually traffic gridlock at this period, remains free.
We are convinced that this time around, people coming home for Christmas, particularly people going towards the east, will have an easy movement only across Niger Bridge.
Stakeholders in the transport sector pledged to take the campaign to their members. 40 ambulances will be placed at strategic locations, courtesy of the state government. In Onitsha, Uchenna Nweko, NTA News.
Another huge economic loss was recorded today in Lagos when a diesel tanker, which was unable to ascend the Okota Link Bridge in the Festac area of the state, rolled backwards and exploded. Jessiton Moses tells us more.
Approximately 20 vehicles displayed for sale were affected by the inferno. Witnesses watched helplessly as the car went up in flames. The dealer lamented the incident.
The whole vehicle were parked outside, burnt onto arches. Even the ones that are inside were badly affected. All of them the same burning.
Firefighters who showed up a few minutes after the tanker exploded did their best to contain the situation, which was already out of hands. The onlookers appealed to the agencies in charge to ensure strict compliance of laws regulating the operations of tankers and other heavy-duty trucks in the metropole.
The regulatory agency should ensure that the tanker drivers, the tankers that are used for the transportation of these highly inflammable substances should be in good condition, number one. the drivers should be subject to periodic mental evaluations.
Meanwhile, the affected part of the Okota Link Bridge has been cordoned off by emergency workers pending investigation to determine the extent of damage. In Lagos, Jesuiton, Moses, NTA.
Health is wealth. That is a popular adage, and rightly so, because I've seen sick people ready to give out all they have to get well. So any effort to bring quality health care nearer to the people is like bringing wealth to them. This is why the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is passionate about the health of women and children. It's not surprising, therefore, that she inaugurated a 50-bed capacity children's and maternity complex in Daura, Katsina State. Aliyu Kabir reports that she provided the facility under the auspices of the Aisha Buhari Foundation.
It was on the 18th of May 2017, the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, laid a foundation stone of children and maternity complex within the premises of Daura General Hospital in Katsina State. 7 months down the line, here is the project. A 50-bed capacity maternity hospital equipped with state-of-the-art facilities comprising the pharmacy, consultation room, ultrasound scanning, delivery room, post-operative, postnatal, nursing station, and eclectic ward. The inauguration was attended by the Nigerian governors under the chairmanship of Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari alongside wives of the governors. The project is expected to serve as a model in the country with the capacity to attend to women and children, not only in the Daura Emirate Council but the entire state, as well as the neighboring states of Kano and Jigawa, including Niger Republic. Inaugurating the project, the wife of the president reaffirmed her determination in maintaining similar gesture through Aisha Buhari Foundation and Future Assured.
This project will also support federal government's policy of establishing healthcare facilities in every political unit or ward in the country and reducing the challenges faced by women, thereby making their lives better.
The wife of the president urged the hospital management and the beneficiaries to safeguard the facility and make the best use of it in order to achieve the desired objective of improving maternal health in the country.
My hope is that it will lead to a considerable reduction of maternal mortality in these areas. I also hope that the state government will provide necessary staff and logistics to enable the complex operate at maximum capacity.
The wife of the president took time to inspect the facility to ensure its efficiency and handed over to Katsina State government.
We are already earmarked 60 nurses and midwives that will man the place. In terms of maintaining and managing the place, there is no problem.
We must commend Her Excellency, the wife of the president, for the initiative. Earlier, the wife of the president has inaugurated newly private primary school constructed along Kano Road in Daura, named Muhammadu Buhari School for Science and Arabic Studies, where 60 pupils are enrolling under her sponsorship. The idea is to complement government effort in improving the quality of education and to support the less privileged and orphans. In Daura, Katsina State, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
Aliyu Kabir there reporting from Daura, Katsina State, the home of hospitality. Now, a revolution on the horizon of healthcare in Osun State, as the federal government, in collaboration with the state, has commenced the distribution of delivery test kits to over 13,000 women across the state. Olabode Arewa reports that the women were also given free medical checkups.
It was a carnival-like atmosphere in Osogbo as pregnant and nursing mothers converged for the flag off for the Save 1 Million Lives program, which is a distribution of free mama kits. The distribution of the 13,000 delivery kits to around the end of year maternal, newborn, and child health week is courtesy of Osun State government, supported by the World Bank. Research shows that about 900,000 children and mothers die each year in Nigeria from birth-related causes. Governor Ralph Aregbesola, while expressing his joy, noted that it would improve healthcare delivery in Osun. In the last 1 decade, a 36% decline has been recorded in under 5 mortality rates in Nigeria. Apart from this symbolic distribution of delivery kits to the women, they were also given free malaria and deworming drugs, along with insecticide-treated nets and condoms.
The program is a very good one due to they are more concerned about the health facilities of the people, and it's very good and encouraging. May God continue to help the government of the state and the federal government.
Osun government contributed 2,500 of the 13,000 kits distributed. In Osogbo, Olabodarewa, NTA News.
Still on health issues, the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria has appealed to government at all levels to attach same level of importance to all unions in the health sector to avoid frequent breakdown in the employer-employee relations. President of the union, Bayobele Moyi Joy Josiah, made the appeal during the union's 44th National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja. Victor Azu was there.
The Solidarity Song is a clarion call to workers all right. But this time, it is the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria convening its 44th National Executive Committee meeting. A moment of silence was observed in honor of 7 officials of the union who died in a fatal road accident while on their way for a national assignment in Kefi, Nasarawa State. President of the union, Bayobele Moyi Joy Josiah, attributes this to the poor state of roads in the country.
As we mourn our fallen comrades, therefore, let me seize this opportunity to amplify the call on the federal government to declare a state of emergency on the rehabilitation of roads in the country.
President of the NLC, Ayuba Waba, who was president of this union for 11 years, expressed concern over the attitude of government towards the welfare of workers.
No country can make progress if there is no social justice. Where the rich continue to be rich and the poor continue to be poor.
Done with the meeting, the union's president proceeded to show guests the newly completed 40-room guest house on the 4th floor of the union's headquarters and the half-kilometer access road constructed by the union. Groundbreaking for the construction of a 150-bed specialist hospital was also performed in the Dakibiu area of Abuja. This, they hope, when completed, will put an end to medical tourism abroad. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Now, as the NTA marks 40 years as an authority in broadcasting, it cannot forget the efforts of the crew that worked to ensure a stable foundation for the future to rest on. In this report by Cecil Egbele, we get to meet some of them.
In the beginning, there were 10 stations, and then 30. Today, there are over 100 stations and different specialized channels to attend to the broadcast needs of the numerous TV viewers across the nation and the world. While there is need to celebrate 4 decades of broadcasting and expansion, looking back to the men and women who held tight through the tides is enough reason to move on to greater heights.
In our next story entitled The First Twins,
let's meet some of them. Shingle Wigwe.
So we're the nucleus of the then NTA.
Ruth Benemesia Opia.
It's a good training ground in the sense that if you can work in NTA, you can work anywhere.
Christabel Narim Bentu, newscaster and reporter.
Working with NTA was a beautiful experience. It was a family setting.
Passion and renewed passion is a major ingredient for a successful venture like the NTA, set with a vision to be a world-class television network.
NTA is hard, NTA is rugged, and NTA is more effective than any university.
I can tell you how many queries I got from Mr. Adaba, probably from wearing jumpsuits to the office, you know, and not sitting properly, or from my addiction and all that.
You know how we started NTA? We set a ground rule, and there's no question of your brother or your sister or your, you know, and we followed it.
For many in the system and many who have passed through, the Nigerian Television Authority remains a home and a habit.
A habit difficult to break. We were hooked to NTA, so that even when you didn't have a U-matic tape, you were ready to beg, steal, borrow a U-matic tape to go and do your assignment.
The NTA has always been a family, but the familial feeling was stronger those days. We socialized together, we went everywhere together.
Because of the hours of work you put into your job, you know, you hardly go home. So your colleagues become your family. Besides that, you know, you find a lot of joy in the job.
As the NTA continues to churn programs and talents, it is the hope that together with our teaming viewers, it will continue to uphold Nigeria's honor and glory.
To find someone who was a product of NTA involved in scandalous living, it's difficult.
Will you ever get there? Will you ever make it? Will you ever hear the sound of the cockcrow? Adam. This is for Sadiq Daba. Thank you.
In Abuja, Cecile Egbeli, NTA News.
Fond memories of NTA there. Well, I'm not done yet with NTA at 40. If the saying that life begins at 40 is anything to go by, then the celebration by the NTA of accomplished years of broadcasting is apt, as it also identifies with the pioneers who contributed to NTA's uncompromising commitment to promoting Nigeria's prosperity and the building of bridges of unity. Hamza Musa Makarfi interacted with some of the pioneers who made NTA tick, and he reveals optimistic view about the future.
This is from the archives. For the NTA, reflection on the past is relevant for its today and the future in the dynamic world of broadcasting. Regardless of the location from Lafayette to Kaduna and Ibadan, as well as Enugu and Maiduguri, the NTA media platform sustains as a rallying point. Its multi-channel approach and unbeatable strong program and news contents have a strong attachment by the people in keeping the organization ahead. Governor Umar Tanko Al-Makura is one of them who made it tick. He was a producer with the Broadcasting Corporation of Northern Nigeria, BCNN, which merged into NTA.
NTA has been able to maintain its standard as a premier and flagship of television production. I believe NTA is doing very, very well.
His predecessor, Senator Abdullah Adamu, served as member when, at inception, the NTA operated 6 zonal boards.
The NTA has lived up to its expectation in the face of the enormous challenges that it had to go through this far, and its capacity to cope with the demands of the changing technology in the electronic media.
From the axis of Nasarawa State, like in other parts of Nigeria, there are more of the pioneers who made a mark in the areas of the NTA outreach.
The Nigerian television is a system that one can congratulate forever and forever.
Anybody who watches NTA today would acknowledge that the station is doing very well.
They share an optimistic future for the organization.
One thing I would also want to chip is to also find avenues through which staff could be given some kind of training and retraining like it used to be in the past.
You are lucky the head, the Director General, is a technocrat, and I don't know, he has the capacity.
For the NTA, life may just have begun at 40. In Lafayette, Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
Thank you, Hamza. NTA has indeed trained a lot of manpower. Now, so far, so good. But there is more after this break. Don't go away. I'll be right back.
come join us. Mom says we have more than enough.
Wherever you may travel, whoever you will be with, we wish you a supreme Christmas. Be supreme, Nigeria.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
It feels good in my heart and my soul when you're here right beside me. I will never want this day to end. No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. Every day, 16,000 children under the ages of 5 and thousands of adults die from infectious diseases. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily. In unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilet, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes. Germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 Cap Full for surface cleaning in your bathing water, in your laundry water, for first aid to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
Ratao NTA Headquarters Abuja is celebrating its members at an event tagged NTA Staff Day. Highlight of the event include Best Staff Award, award to deserving members of the society, speeches by the executive directors, talks on motivation and entrepreneurship by Professor Solomon Shola Gabriel, lecturer, Federal University of Agriculture, Makudi, and Isaac Onoja, a life coach and entrepreneur. Date Thursday, 14 December 2017. Venue NTA Arena, headquarters Area 11 Garki, Abuja. Time 11 a.m. prompt. Join us and celebrate our staff, the pride of our organization. This event is powered by
Welcome back. The Debt Management Office is set to redeem 198.032 billion Nigerian Treasury bills this month, as Forest Market receives $210 million boost from Central Bank of Nigeria, plus Agricultural Revolution Plan brings down prices of food crops by 45% in Lagos, and news on trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Musa Toliat is our guide on Business News segment.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on Business News segment. The interbank window of Nigeria's foreign exchange market on Tuesday received another boost of $210 million from the Central Bank of Nigeria, according to the statement released by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications of the CBN, Isaac Okorafor. The interventions were meant to boost liquidity, trade, and ease of remittances for legitimate personal commitments. The breakdown of the disbursement shows that the sum of $100 million went to the wholesale segment, while SMEs and invisible segments received $55 million each. Meanwhile, the Naira maintained its steady rate against major currencies around the globe, exchanging for 360 to $1 in the BDC segment of the market on Tuesday, December 12, 2017. The Debt Management Office is set to redeem 198.032 billion Naira Nigerian Treasury bills, which will be repaid in full at maturity in December. Details provided by the DMO shows that 131.415 billion Naira and 66.617 billion Naira of Nigerian Treasury bills will mature on December 14 and December 21, 2017. The DMO further indicates that the NTBs will be redeemed primarily using proceeds from the $500 million raised through an Eurobond issuance by Nigeria in November 2017. By redeeming the 198.032 billion Naira Treasury bills, the DMO says the federal government is not only implementing its debt management strategy, but also providing liquidity to the financial system to enable the private sector access credit from banks and issue securities in the domestic market to raise funds. Ahead of the Christmas celebration, prices of tomatoes, pepper, and onions have reduced by about 45% in Lagos. NTA Business News price check at Mile 12 Market showed that a basket of tomatoes now sells for 8,000 naira as against the initial 15,000 naira, while Tatashe pepper now goes for 8,000 a basket compared to the previous price of 14,000 naira. A basket of Rodo pepper has also reduced from 18,000 naira to 10,000 naira, while a bag of onions now goes for 20,000 as against the previous price of 30,000 naira. That's it on Business News segment. Many thanks for watching. NTA News Extra continues shortly. Stay tuned.
One major feature of professional occupations is the existence of a body that regulates activities and conduct of members. That is why the House of Representatives Committee on Housing has convened a public hearing on a bill that seeks to establish the Institute of Mortgage Brokers and Lenders of Nigeria. Ignatius Onkwo reports that at the public hearing, professionals in the business of mortgage supported the bill.
It was the second day of public hearing on 4 bills seeking to reposition the national housing policy in Nigeria. Members of the committee and participants agreed on the need to establish the Institute of Mortgage Brokers and Lenders of Nigeria to regulate the activities of the profession.
The Institute as a way to mitigate on the problems that have been thrown up in the mortgage sector.
For players within the industry and to guide professional activities and exercises.
The bill for an act to repeal the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to make comprehensive provision for the re-establishment of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria and its board of directors was thrown up for contributions. The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Labour and Trade Union Congress, Mortgage Bankers Association, Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors and all other related organizations made their contributions to the bill.
Federal Mortgage themselves, while we were oversighting them, they brought the need to do this bill.
Composition of the board of the bank should include other major relevant stakeholders, like the organized labor.
The fund as it is now is owned by Nigerian workers. We are the ones building the infrastructure of the Federal Mortgage Bank. We are the ones paying the staff salary of the Federal Mortgage Bank from our funds.
Well, that's why it's a public hearing. Everybody can air out his opinion so that at the end of the day we can take which one is the best.
They also suggested that the Central Bank of Nigeria, as the regulator of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, should not be part of the shareholders, while the federal government should take up total ownership of the bank. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Onkwo, NTA News.
Ginger is one of the most important medicinal plants that millions of people worldwide depend on for the treatment of diarrhea, indigestion, nausea, and stomach ulcer, and oftentimes as food spice. Nigeria, apart from being among the world's largest consumer, is also among the largest producer. In spite of this, however, the high supply and low demand of ginger at the international commodity market this year is having negative impact on the socio-economic well-being of Nigerian farmers. Our agriculture correspondent, Musa Baba Aliyu, visited some of the farming communities in Kaduna State and has a situation report.
This is my first time of planting ginger.
54-year Ishaya Dogara used to be a major maize producer in Kwai, a farming community in Jaba local government area of Kaduna State. This year, he switched to ginger production, considering how the price of ginger appreciated during the 2016 harvest season. Unluckily for Ishaya, the price of ginger has dropped drastically, and he is now not sure of the return of his investment.
I'm even regretting what makes me to involve myself into ginger farming because of the price of ginger in the market. It is not encouraging at all.
Most ginger farmers in the area, including Kagoma and Kafanchan, also complained of the falling price of their produce, despite the demand at national level. Research shows that in 2016, a bag of ginger sold for as high as 20,000 naira in most of the markets visited.
But ginger is 8,500, 9,000.
But the middlemen and marketers attributed the development to what they described as market forces.
It's the market forces that, look, it is not only ginger, all agri products. Maize last year, it was almost 20,000 per bag. Now it's 6,000, 7,000. Maize, corn. You see the problem? So it's not only ginger. Virtually all the agri products were affected.
Nigeria exports an average of 160,000 tons of ginger annually, making her the fourth largest exporter of the commodity. Nigeria is also among the world's largest ginger consumers, consuming about 202,000 tons annually. From Kwai in Jabo local government area of Kaduna State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Let's take another break now. When we return, we will be talking with the youths. So, if you're one, stand by.
From 1967 to 1970, Nigeria went through a horrifying civil war. It didn't matter who was wrong or right. Everybody suffered. Those who fought that war say it should never happen again.
So a lot of people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. I don't think a second one is necessary. We should have learned from that first one. Otherwise, the dead would have been to no avail, would all have been in vain.
The words of our elders are full of wisdom.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alaji.
Alaji?
I am just rehearsing there.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, and win cash prizes. As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers. Terms and conditions apply.
Proudly supported by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
It's that time of the year when we appreciate all those that mean so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses, and above all, you, our esteemed viewers. Together, we made 2017 great. Together, we shall make 2018 even greater. That's why we say thank you. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
It's no longer news that white-collar jobs are not readily available. Nigerian youth, especially graduates, have to think outside the box and be self-employed, a situation government is actively encouraging. That is why the NYSC Skill Acquisition Entrepreneurship Program is gaining ground. The interesting thing here is that the Ondo State NYSC has taken the program to another dimension to make Nigerian graduates abreast of the trends in self-development and self-reliance. Abiodun Oladipo takes the story up from here.
That's what Stadium Aliazan from Bauchi State, a graduate of animal science from the University of Agriculture, topping the list of best chef at the Ondo State NYSC. Believe it or not, he got a prize from the kitchen as a good baker who baked the best and delicious cake during the Batch Bake Corps members' orientation in Ondo State with 308 marks.
The cake baking is also part of the SAID program.
that has been introduced by NYSC. So we have a lot of people, like the contestant. Some of them, they pass through the Sahid. Some, at least we have little ideas from home. They got a lot of experience from this Sahid program.
Those who managed it not only to the final, but also won different prizes, were appreciating NYSC for the initiative that encouraged young Nigerians to put their creativity to test and leave post-service years successfully.
They encourage upcoming members that if you're in camp, just make sure you don't sleep in your hostel, find yourself in one of the training ground.
Ondo State Coordinator of the NYSC appreciate corps members' doggedness and virtues exhibited during the exercise, charging them not to be deterred by any factor.
I feel that commitment is absolutely important for them to carry on with the different skills and succeed at it.
We advise you that you should consult your service guide pages and side guide.
One of the encouraging factors in the whole exercise is that Ondo State NYSC has been able to bring in private partnership into the scheme to ensure that it goes beyond government baby alone, making private sector to see talent and creativity in young Nigerians.
We have a huge population of 18 to 40 that needs to be empowered. If we can, as much as possible, show them the right path and make them see what they cannot see themselves, then Nigeria will be better for it.
No doubt, Ondo State's NYSC skill acquisition and entrepreneurship competition has come and gone. One thing to take is the enormous talent of the Nigerian young graduates beyond academic. But one new thing was acquired under the platform to make them self-sustained. From Ikare, Abiodun Oladipo, NTA News.
Time now to take our last break on the program. There'll be more when we return. Join us again.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
For the last 24 years, NAFDAC has made steady progress in ensuring that the health of the nation is protected. Our collective responsibility is eliminating substandard, falsified, and unsafe drugs, medical devices, foods, and water.
I urge all Nigerians to support NAFDAC in safeguarding our health. God bless Nigeria.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
You're welcome back. We now have a bit on sports. Super Eagles Team B this evening played goalless with league champions Plateau United in the fourth match of the MPFL Super 6 in Kano. In Abuja, the 7th edition of the Nigerian Private Universities Games has opened, as Amazimakas tells us.